All right, so the documentary Leaving Neverland has sparked a huge backlash against Michael Jackson since it alleges that the pop star sexually abused underage boys. Now, have you guys seen the documentary yet?
I did, and
unfortunately,
yes. All right, yeah. So I saw it too. So we're definitely going to discuss that here. Before we get into it, we should state that the Jackson estate filed a lawsuit for $100 million, and the legal battle is definitely on. All right, so the latest to come from all of this is Michael Jackson's daughter, Paris Jackson. She was hospitalized during the weekend. Of course, we all heard it. There were press reports, that were suggesting that it was due to an attempted suicide. But she quickly denied all of those claims. She called them lies on Twitter. Everyone saw her the following day with her boyfriend and seemed, seemingly doing fine. And hopefully that is the case, right? There were also other reports that, came out that she had fallen behind, asleep behind the wheel. And she once again slammed those claims on Twitter. So she's taking, her stand and saying, guys, this is false, this is false, this is false. So, the reality, though, of all of this, and really the question of all of us is, how much this is going to affect Michael Jackson's legacy, right?
It's already affecting it because
we're already seeing the crumbling of
1,000%.
Right?
Even most recently at the Children's Museum of Indianapolis announced it was removing several Michael Jackson's artifacts from display. The museum had the famous fedora hat, the white gloves from their collection, and they said they were removing them in an excess of caution and in response to the controversy over the HBO film called Leaving Neverland.
Yeah, so it's directly because of that.
1,000%.
There's no question about this. So, there are also a lot of examples, as Nas said. We also remember, of course, Drake dropped the song featuring Michael Jackson from the set list of his UK concert tour. Now, the song Don't Matter to Me was huge. Actually, a good song.
Very good song.
Was a track from his Scorpion album that has him singing alongside vocals, recorded by Jackson in 1983. And I remember when it first came out, I was like, this is genius.
Amazing.
It's genius. And now he's not even performing it. Yeah.
Also, it was widely reported by CNN a few days ago that several radio stations in Canada and New Zealand have dropped Michael Jackson's song from their
from the rotation.
rotations. Yeah. And however, it was also reported that streaming of his music has remained steady.
So
You would think that it wouldn't.
It's that people who haven't heard of Michael Jackson are now hearing of him are going to see.
To see what it is.
Yeah. But you know what? Also, guys, the coffee chain Starbucks removed Michael Jackson's song from playing in their stores after the fans complained. Another big brand is Louis Vuitton. They also distanced itself from Jackson too because their 2009 fall menswear
2019, yes.
Menswear fashion show was inspired by Jackson's pop culture legacy. The collection debuted a week before the documentary was released.
Yeah, so the timing there, was kind of tough. But this one I actually didn't know until we started actually talking about this show. Is even the producers of The Simpsons, the popular animated show, they had to pull an iconic 1991 episode featuring Michael Jackson's voice.
I actually remember that one.
You do remember?
I do remember, and it's kind of weird that they took it out. So that means this is really affecting Michael Jackson.
No, it is. It is. So of course, the question now, right? I actually talked about it in the opening of the show. Is can you separate the art from the artist, right? Bottom line is, will you guys still be listening to his music? And I think the question also is will you be streaming it? Will you be buying the albums and all that? But I think mostly is will you be listening to the music?
I'm going to say I will not be listening to Michael Jackson anymore after, watching Leaving Neverland. I just can't. My only thing that I was thinking is it's because sometimes, these songs from him are epic. They're icon songs. And sometimes even people have a certain memory attached with that song. And maybe it has nothing to do with Michael Jackson. It's just a memory, maybe a wedding dance or maybe. So I can understand why people may continue listening to them. I personally won't because of the fact that I can't help but listen to those lyrics and relate them to the accusations that have been presented. So I wouldn't be able to.
Claudia, what do you think?
I mean, for sure I'm not going to buy any albums or anything like that. I guess we're gonna listen to it somehow, no? I don't know.
Think?
If you're going to a store and it's playing or something like that, are you walking out of the store?
No.
You're
no,
there,
I'm going to look at that cashier and the manager like this.
But what is true is that you can't help but think about that.
Right, of course. And now obviously what you guys are saying is based off of what you saw on the documentary, which are all, these are all allegations, right? These are all allegations.
But still,
Michael Jackson was never charged for anything, in his life in regards to all of this,
but
right?
But it's still something you can't not think.
No,
of course, which is why, right. But here's the question, all right? Let's say you're in a nightclub, right? You're dancing in a nightclub or at a bar, and then, just randomly the next song they put on is Michael Jackson? Would you walk off the dance floor?
I would not be moving my hips at all. I'd just be looking at the DJ like this. I just can't, because again, like I said, when I listen to this now, the lyrics of the song, I think beat it, and I'm like, what was he beating? You know what I mean?
You go to the documentary.
I do. I will say this though, Pete Davidson on an SNL skit, he was talking about R. Kelly and Michael Jackson, and one thing he did mention that I kind of did like the idea and the thought that he had behind it was, if you are gonna listen to Michael Jackson's song, or if you are gonna download, at least every time you download, put $1 into a charity of sexual accusation, a sexual accusation charity or something sexual molestation. You know what I mean? Where you can help maybe the cause a little more if you are gonna listen. I will not be listening anymore to Michael Jackson, but if you are, at least do something to balance it out.
Right, but you're not going to listen based on what you've heard, like one side of the story.
I mean, yes, it is one side of the story, but these accusations aren't new, guys. I mean,
but he's never been charged for that in the past.
Never been charged.
And I got to bring up something. Wade Robson actually talked to the press. He was asked what he thought about people not listening to Michael Jackson anymore, and his response is that it's really not his concern. He says, if I have any hope, it's just that we're questioning who we're worshiping and why. So he's not so much worried about people listening to the music or not, but just who you're idolizing, just like be careful with that. And I just think in general, we just got to be careful with that. We don't know everyone's lives completely, right?
1000%.
And like anything, there's always two versions, two sides of the story, right? And so, I think that's just like an interesting way of looking at it. And I think we're going to continue seeing more and more of this, people defending and then people also going against Michael Jackson, based on this documentary.
Yeah, I see your point there. I mean, one thing that I did notice and we talked about this behind was, when Wade was talking about it, he wasn't talking about Michael Jackson as a monster. He wasn't like trying to, say they actually kind of fell in love in a way. He respected him and he loved him and he loved being around him. So from one side, I can understand why he's like, careless about that.
Right.
It's an internal pain that he's dealing with that I can understand, and hence because of that, I can't now listen to these music and think Michael Jackson's old ways how I used to. Now I think of it with these accusations.
Right. So we all obviously can make our decisions based off of watching this documentary and listening to all of this, regardless if you're a Michael Jackson fan
you just
or
don't watch
not.
it.
Well, no, I think it's important to watch it. It's important to watch it and really find out what's going on.
It's tough. It's tough to watch.
And make your own decision
very
based on these allegations.
I mean, that's what we're here for, though, to have our opinions about this.
Hey, guys. Oh, hello there.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, guys.
Hello.
Oh, hi, you.
Yes, we've only been doing this for 6 months.
Only.
Guys, you know what? Seriously simple. We got to ask for you to subscribe. We want you to like. We want you to comment.
And share.
Sharing is caring.
Share the love. Share the wealth. Share the Latinx Now.
Share us.